It's Mrs. Samsel coming.
And today we're going to be learning about Keith Haring.
Today we're going to be learning about Keith Haring, and I have on my Keith Haring shirt that I found at Target. Super great buy. Keith Haring was a very interesting artist. He was born in 1958 in Pennsylvania, which is here in the United States. Keith Haring loved art as a young boy. He was inspired by people like Walt Disney and Dr. Seuss. He loved their characters, and that helped inspire some of the characters that he drew later on in life. He moved to New York for school in college, and that's when he really got into public art. Public art is when you have your artwork out there and you're sharing it with the world, just kind of like we do with our art shows. His was a little bit more permanent. He would go into the subway stations, and they would have these black panels that he looked at and he thought, I need to draw on this, and he would draw on them with chalk. Sometimes Keith Haring would do up to 40 drawings a day in the subway. He kind of became a big deal, and people really liked watching him in action. And he started to become a well-known artist. And he had his artwork in different galleries. He even had a billboard in Times Square in New York. Even created his own pop shop where you could go and buy his images printed on different shirts and cups and merchandise. He would make sets and backdrops for theaters and really got to become well known to the point that he created a collaborative art with boys and girls, and it was showcased at the Super Bowl. So over 1,000 kids helped create that work of art. Kind of a big deal. Wouldn't that be awesome if you helped create a work of art that was in the Super Bowl? So in 1986, Keith Haring had over 40 articles published that year in just newspapers and magazines. He was kind of a big deal, and he was very unique and creative in what he did. And today I'd like us to create our own Keith Haring drawing. What you're gonna need is a piece of paper, pencil, markers, and a cup of water and a brush later if you want that. So I grabbed a quarter to make the head of my character, and I'm just gonna trace that circle. And then to make my body, I'm going to think of kind of a motion. So I'm gonna make mine on a skateboard. So I'm gonna have the hand down. And it's just kind of like a rectangle. And then his body and his leg out. So we're just working on straight lines today. And I'm not adding a neck. And they're kind of like parallel lines. They don't intersect. They just run in two directions. And then if you think about your body, you have your upper leg and your lower leg, your calf. So I'm focusing on breaking these parts. So I have my upper arm, my forearm, my hand. This one's straight, so it didn't matter. And then down here, I'm gonna add a little skateboard for my person. And then now I can work on the head, which looks a little silly. So I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna erase the line that connects it and kind of retrace that like so. Now we can add some movement lines. I can add some lines coming around my person, which was a big Keith Haring thing. Some curves around my elbow, some curves around my knee. And then we can build up the area around it. So maybe he's listening to music. Keith Haring was known for adding lots of different patterns, lots of different details, and they didn't have to all flow together and make sense. Sometimes he would draw a person, sometimes he would draw a dog. So I'm gonna make a little dog right here kind of barking at him. So my dog's mouth is open, and then I go around his nose. Looks like an M for his ear. Straight back, curl that tail. Straight down, rectangle leg 1, a little space, rectangle leg 2, belly, rectangle leg 1, rectangle leg 2, and connect it into his head. And he's barking at him, so he's saying, hey, wait for me. And his tail's wagging, so I'm gonna make some lines for his tail. Okay, and so now I'm just gonna build up some more patterns and designs over here. I'm gonna make a nice sun. I could add some shapes that I might like a heart or a star. And if you need to make a star like this, lightly, and then go back over it, we've talked about this in class. And then use your eraser, and you can erase inside. That works. Okay. You can add some flowers. You could add whatever creative ideas you want. So I'm gonna make mine kind of disconnected. He was really kind of this, it was almost like a comic if you looked at some of the artwork that he had. And he used a lot of repeated lines and repeated patterns. So whatever you think looks best for your art, whether it's the repeating of zigzag line, or the hearts, maybe you want to even add a peace sign. There are a lot of ways to create a Keith Haring drawing. Can make a light bulb. So I know you guys are coming up with some bright ideas. So you guys always shine bright. If you want to draw a ground, you can, or you can leave it just like that and then outline it in markers. Here's my finished example outlined in markers. You can leave it just like that, or if you want, you can go back and keep finding little spaces that you might need to add more colors. You could add crayons or colored pencils. So here is the example outlined in water. I really want to let you guys experiment with the markers and creating some paint that way. Hopefully you have some paint at home and we can use paint in a future lesson. I, again, didn't really like it, especially in the middle area where the purple and the blue mixed together, but it's your choice.
No, not right now.
We hope you enjoyed working with us in Keith Haring lessons. Remember to always be respectful, be responsible, and be kind. Be kind and be creative.
Be kind.
Be kind.
Be kind. Be kind.
And we'll see you next time in art.